Hi, everybody, and welcome to another look. I'm Anthony Brown, and I'm on location at the Karamu House, the historic, famed Karamu House, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a great place. I love when we're able to go and take you to some new places and introduce you to some new faces. So now today, we're going to be talking with Terrence Spivey, who is the artistic director of the Karamu House. We're going to talk about some of the production, the performances, some things that I've even been a part of right here on this very stage. So you don't want to miss out, and we're going to jump right into it. We're going to go right into this interview. Hey, Terrence, how are you?
Hello, how you doing, Anthony? Good to see you again.
Good to be seen. So now, again, I want to say, first of all, before I even get started talking about the history, about what you do, let me first talk about the Gem of the Ocean and this set.
Yes, it's amazing. We're right here on the set of Gem of the Ocean. It opened May 11th, and late great August Wilson directed the piece. Actually, it was his first. It's the first play of his 10-play cycle. In focusing on African American history, and Richard Morris Jr., of course, our tech director, who also a nationally renowned, award-winning designer. Right here, Karamu Kid. He designed this set, as many other sets he's designed over the years.
So let's go on to something else. Let's talk about the history of the Karamu. I mean, this place is historic. I mean, it's been here since 1915.
Yes, 1915. It was actually 38th and Central in 1915. It was there, founded by Russell and Rowena Jella, two Oberlin grads. And it was there, then it burned down in 1939. He rebuilt it and renamed it Karamu House in 1941. In Swahili, it means a place of joyful gathering. And between 1941 and 1945, before we relocated here, they were using other spaces to do their works. Now, mind you, it was basically a community center for the community. The theater didn't jump off the ground until maybe the early 20s. And actors came in, the Dumas players, and then, of course, it turned into the Gilpin players because Charles Gilpin came into town in the early 20s and did the, famous controversial The Emperor Jones. And he saw the Dumas players, which was a Playhouse Settlement, a.k.a. Karamu team, and he loved what they were doing. And he left $50, which at that time was a lot of money. He left $50.
$50, that's
on the stage.
A lot of money.
Yes, and they loved it, and they renamed themselves the Charles Gilpin Players after that. Okay. But that $50 also instigated others to start putting in money into the arts for Karamu. Well, at the time, Playhouse Settlement. And then they relocated here to daycare across the way. There was a daycare during the day and a theater at night. That was just that one building on the lot.
Wow.
And it was the Arena Theater, which is now in this side of the building, And then we relocated the theater in 1949. Here, the Jelliff, where we are now, and the Arena Theater. Okay. So a lot of great people came. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question. I know there's got to be some amazing talent that has come through this place.
Yes, besides you. The one person is Langston Hughes is the first person that comes to mind. He was the one that was part of the Jelliff's fabric of building this place.
And wait, now history also shares that whenever he would come through and visit, he would actually stay here, wouldn't he?
But yes, he would come through, and actually the office where I am now used to be a little apartment where there was a couple that would come down. They were during the socialite gatherings. They would come down and take care of the Jelliffs, and they were the grounds people basically. And but yeah, he would come in and he'd test some of his works. During the Harlem Renaissance. I mean, Simply Heavenly, of course, premiered here first when we went to New York. A lot of other works started here first when we went to New York.
What other names come to mind when you think about this place?
The late Minnie Gentry, people may not know by name but face. She's a mama type of character. She's she passed away back in the late 90s, but she's the great grandmother of Terrence Howard. Okay. She came from here. Bill Cobb, who's still around doing his thing. He's the one that everybody say, you shot Nino Brown in New Jack City. He's from here. The late Ron O'Neal of Superfly. Robert Guillaume of Benson.
Wow.
Robert Guillaume. Deborah Bird, the vocal coach for American Idol. The latest, I must say, the young lady, Amani Hakeem.
Wait a minute, she was the sister to Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes, she came right from the youth theater here at Karamu House, you know, and she learned everybody's lines. She knew them. When somebody forget a line, she was out there in in the theater watching them rehearse, and she'll throw their lines out, so they can remember. So she was a very, very intelligent young kid, young artist. But she's young adult now.
Now, I know we're talking about some of this history of the Karamu House, and in a couple years, you're going to be celebrating your 100th anniversary.
Yes, in 2015. Gregory Ash, the executive director, and myself and the rest of the staff, we're already putting together a centennial committee. We've gotten people like the Anthony Chisholm, who's a Karamu alumnus, one of the well-renowned interpreters. August Wilson works on Broadway Regional. He's on board. Earl Billings. I don't know if you know Earl Billings, who's another Karamu alumnus. He was in Antoine Fisher. He was also in J.D.'s Revenge. He came from during the 70s. He also in the Affleck commercial. He's been in tons of movies.
Okay.
He's on the committee. Deborah Bird is on the committee. We have a couple of local folks on the committee as well, and the Silvers, Ruben and Dorothy Silver. Oh my God, the golden couple of theater here in Cleveland, or Northeast Ohio. They're on the committee as well. So we're gearing up.
So we're looking forward to some great things and opportunities and productions programs and all that.
Capital campaign, just a whole array of Karamu, the then and now. Because one of the things our mission is about programming quality arts and education works, but with the emphasis on African American culture. That's the key. Even though Karamu was known back in the day for integrated theater, still is, but our emphasis is on African American culture.
Well, before we take a commercial break, I want to just talk very briefly about the upcoming season. I know we got some great works coming up, and then we're going to take a tour of the place and look at some of the things that are in the buildings. But first, let's talk about, real quick, I know the opening production for 2012, 2013 is a mammoth production.
Jim of the Ocean ends June 3rd, so I'm trying to deal with that right now. I don't even want to think about The Color Purple. It opens October 5th.
Right.
It opens October 5th. Yes, that's gearing up. We hopefully will be having auditions maybe around June or something like that. So that's that piece there. It's been in the works for like 2 years because they've been touring. That was an equity tour company. There was a non-equity, and I know it came through twice to Playhouse Square. And we're one of the few nonprofit theaters that's grabbed it for the season. There's about 4 or 5 others out in the country that's grabbed the piece already, and they're not per se black theater companies because it's a huge cast, and there's not many black theaters do big musicals.
Okay.
So
it's a big musical. So after The Color Purple, we have Black Activity. You're black during the holiday season, and then from A Star Ain't Nothing But a Hole in Heaven.
It's by Judy Ann Mason. I love her dearly. She passed away 2 years ago. She was a graduate of Grambling State back in the early 70s. Okay. She was a Norman Lear Award winner. Norman Lear brought her to Hollywood. After she was 19 when she wrote this piece here. Brought her to Hollywood, and she wrote for Good Times and Episodes and I'll Fly Away and many other shows, So she was really a dear, and it's a warm, wonderful piece.
6 Degrees of Separation.
Yes. Interesting enough, when that was announced, a couple of months ago, a lot of people just thought that was a movie with Will Smith, but it was a play before it was a film, adapted into film. So that's going to be a lot of fun there. I actually got a chance to meet that gentleman, David. I forgot his last name. Who it was based on.
Okay. Yeah. And then you close out the season with Crowns.
Crowns, yes, crowns. Of course, crowns mean, church women with hats, because that's their crown,
right,
Their crown. And so, yes, we're looking to get ready for that, because Cleveland Playhouse did it, I think, about 7-8 years ago. And so we're bringing it in.
Well, look here, ladies and gentlemen. We have been sitting here talking to Terrence Spivey, who is the artistic director. Who you've been here how many years?
It'll be 9 years.
9 years.
2000, yeah, yes.
Well, that's a
9
long
years
time.
next October.
So we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the other productions here. We're going to talk about some more history. We're going to go around and look at some of the more of the building and show you some of the insides of this what, the oldest?
Yes, the oldest
The oldest.
multicultural
There you go. Say it again.
slash black theater in the country.
The oldest multicultural black theater in the country. I didn't want to mess that up. So, hey, we're going to take another look at the movies.